If you are the average British person and you choose to stay in this country for the next 2 years, here's what's most likely going to happen. Your standard of living is not going to improve, your taxes may well go up, and you will continue to feel a squeeze to your finances.
Hello, welcome back. This is your average Midwest guy, and I wanted to discuss in this video not only what we're seeing in the US as a resident Midwesterner myself, but what we're seeing from our good friends across the pond in the UK. It is wild, the things that they're going through, the changes to taxes, the difficulty affording housing arrangements, and so much more. But with that, buckle up, get ready as we go into the cost of living crisis with our good friends over the pond in the United Kingdom.
If you are the average British person and you choose to stay in this country for the next 2 years, here's what's most likely going to happen. Your standard of living is not going to improve, your taxes may well go up, and you will continue to feel a squeeze to your finances. So here's a graph outlining this that was released after the budget today. To explain what this graph here means to you, it means that between the last general election and the one that's about to happen, you, the average British person, have witnessed the greatest drop in living standards since records began, since the 1950s. And this is the problem. People in this country don't realise how much better our standard of living could and should be. And highlighting this is not an anti-British statement. It's highlighting how this country has gone down the toilet and is going to stay in the toilet for a good few years, all thanks to these arseholes. And Labour are not going to be in a position where they can do a great deal about it. Our economic growth is predicted to grow slower than expected. Inflation is set to remain stubborn, and the tax burden is still set to remain very high, so Labour will most likely increase taxes. The tax cuts announced today are a classic trap for the next government, and they're also not going to improve the average person's life. In real terms, we are still going to remain a country where the average person is feeling the squeeze. So I would still advise that you move somewhere else, because there are numerous countries that either have a higher standard of living or a better quality of life. And people will always say that whatever country you move to has got its own problems and that's why you shouldn't move there. Don't fall for this self-defeating, limiting belief. The grass is always greener argument is a generic and lazy argument normally made by people who don't have the bollocks to move abroad themselves. So they would rather try and prevent you from doing it and drag you down. Or they'd rather remain here living in ignorance thinking that everything is okay without realising how much our standard of living has dropped compared to other comparable economies. Let those people remain ignorant and start looking on TikTok and YouTube at the amount of Brits who have moved abroad and are now raving about how much better their life is. There are always valid reasons why some people can't do it, but for the average person, you can. Don't let your mind be the obstacle in the way of you improving your life.
Look, now, I'm all for, staying back with the parents, being there with friends, family, but if my quality of life across my entire country is going to be going down for the next 3, 4, 5 years, you know damn well I'm going to be looking at other options. I'm going to see where I can go, where can I take my skills, what skills matter, and refining those. There's no reason for me to want to stick around in a country where I'm going to be treated like dirt, where rent's going to go up, costs are going to go up. The wonderful NHS, I've heard that the wait times and the care outcomes are not as great as they make it sound. These are all things that matter to a huge swath of population in the UK, and I think it's only going to get worse. So, hell, I was working with somebody this year who was a English teacher in the UK and then moved overseas to East Asia. Loving it all the way over there. It's much safer. Things are relatively priced. It's going to be a growing setup for sure for a lot of people.
Can we just talk about the fact that houses in France on average are 160k? Houses in England are on average 260k if converted to euros. The average wage in France is 42k a year. And the average adjusted wage in England is 32, 34. So houses here are almost twice as expensive and wages are 25% less. And that's not accounting for the fact that food is more expensive, but the weather's significantly worse. What is going on here? How can people so adamantly defend the state the UK is currently in?
I truly feel bad for my fellow UK residents with how bad their housing situation is. I recently watched a video, I'll put it in the description, where basically it was said that In the UK, they have more paperwork and NIMBYs than anywhere else in the world. They wanted to build a housing development to get more available residential space for folks. And there was NIMBYs that came in, blocked it, and there was 35,000 pages of documentation. And I also looked into it. If you look at the fact that a house is 260,000 in euros, the average adjusted income is 32 to 34K. And compare that to France at 160 with a higher base income, you're not even looking at the whole picture, because in the UK, the average mortgage rate right now is 4.8%, and in France, it's 4.1. So not only is the house more expensive, not only are you making less money, you are paying more in interest than you would if you were in France. Absolutely diabolical and a terrible situation. And some may ask, why would I want to even work? Well, let's check the next clip.
Somebody please tell me why I'd ever get a job when this is my weekly universal credits that I get. I mean, why would I get a job? I get your monthly wage in a week. So why would I put myself out and get a job? I mean, I'm living my fucking best life. Fucking hell.
Hey, I mean, props to this lady here. 1151 pounds per week. Easymode. I mean, if it exists, why not take it? But I think it goes to show, when we just watched a clip where the average income is like 32K weekly, this is coming out to over 50. Now, obviously there's circumstance, but it's just crazy that some of these programs exist like this. And it goes without saying, but it's gonna make people feel a certain way. Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments.
No, 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 no.
I thought the video talking about the overall cost at 2,800. What is going on in the UK where you're paying 200 in electric and 200 in gas? Am I crazy? Like, I don't live in a big home, but it's nothing like that for me. And then what are these county taxes? Where's the regular taxes? Is that incorporated? It just seems like things are expensive over there. Not gonna lie, but apparently it's about to get worse.
Basically, 9 days ago, I came down with the flu. Yeah, with the winter flu. Okay. I've been on my own for 9 days. I'm in my home. I'm freezing cold. I'm distressed. I have nobody knocking at my front door. I have nobody checking in on me. I turn to charity, the local charity here, the food bank, for help, and my local council. Everything is a closed door. I don't care about Labour. I don't care about Conservative. I care about my own survival. I'm going to freeze to death in my own home.
Oh God! What?
This is happening. This is just not me. I'm not a victim.
Well, you're not alone,
trying to
Philip.
work
You're
out.
not.
I'm
You're
trying to
not
work
alone.
out.
Okay, we're going to get on to Mid Devon District Council. Will you stay on the phone after I let you go? Give us your contact details, and I am going to personally get on the phone to Mid Devon District Council tomorrow morning and get them to do whatever they can to help you. Philip, you've been helping others. It's time now for people, the state, the people who are there to help you, to do their job and to give you the help that you need, okay?
I'm going to freeze to death in my home with my dog.
Pardon?
I'm going to freeze to death in my home.
Philip, we're not going to let that happen, okay? We're going to get onto your local council and we are going to do what we can to get you the help that you need.
Now, I know this is a bit of a heavier video to end on, but I think given that this is a serious situation that can occur to people across the country in the UK, so I think it was in 2022, during the time when there's a lot of power outages, it goes to say that this is something that can happen to any country that has energy instability. And as cost of living continues to go up and rise, who's to say that the mainframes or the way that we have our grid set up couldn't face those risks as well here in the US? I think it's very pertinent, and only hoping that over the next few years things start improving. We can only hope for the best. So with that, I appreciate everyone that tuned in. If you like the video, please drop a like, give me some comments. I read every single comment y'all send, and consider subscribing. I appreciate it. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Peace.